Everybody, welcome back to Epic Beauty Fail. I'm Jessica. On today's video, we're going to be doing another Foundation Friday. And on today's video, we're going to be using this foundation right here. This is the Soap & Glory Kick-Ass All Day Wear Foundation. It does say 24-hour wear. I won't be wearing this for 24 hours, probably around 9 to 10, somewhere in there. Anyway, before I turned on the camera, I did spray my face down with the Pixie Hydrating Milky Mist, and I also used the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer. Let's go ahead and go to the Soap & Glory website, and I will read to you what the website says. It does appear that there are only about 13 shades. I don't know if you guys can see the shade range there. It does not go very deep. It does go pretty light, however. I think that this shade will work for me. This is shade 1, so it is the lightest shade, and I think it'll work for me. But if you're fairer than I am, which there are amazingly some people that have fairer skin than me, you should be able to potentially find something for you unless you're, like I said, fairer than I am. So this says the Kick-Ass All Day Wear Foundation. It says short of time. It's a lightweight, medium coverage foundation that lasts for 24 hours and it's sweat proof. Want the full story? Our lightweight, medium coverage foundation lasts as long as you do, all day and night. That's 24 whole hours. Whoa. Sorry. It's not only super long lasting, it's humidity, sweat, and waterproof too. Plus, there's no chance of the dreaded cakey face. Don't you just hate that? I personally do. This fab formula stays put without smudging or melting off, leaving you to look fresh and flawless around the clock. It says instructions for use. Warning, avoid direct contact with eyes. If product gets into the eyes, rinse well with water. That's the instructions for use. Don't put it in your eyes. Okay. Alrighty then. So we're going to go ahead and put this on. I am going to be using a brush on the right side of my face. I'm going to be using my L'Oreal sponge on the left side of my face. This is my Love is the Foundation brush. This comes out every October, I think, for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I've bought 2 now. I will probably buy the 2019 one as well. Anyway, this foundation is on the newer side. I know some of my foundations are in months or years old. This, I believe, came out in February or March timeframe, somewhere in there. They just got it in an Ulta here recently. I picked it up off of the new page just like 2 weeks ago. It was on the new page, or 3 weeks ago, something like that. It was on the new page, and that's when I purchased it. So we're going to go ahead and put this on. The only thing I've done so far is patch test it to see if it would work on my skin tone. Sometimes drugstore foundations, the lightest shade does not work on me. So I wanted to patch test it to make sure that it would work for me, and it appears that it will. It is also raining here today, raining pretty good actually. So not that I plan to dance in the rain or anything, but we'll see if the humidity of the rain will affect the wear time at all. It does say it's waterproof, sweat proof, and all that other good proofness as well. So right now the pump is not choosing to work, and I think that's probably because it's tilted sideways. I'm having a really heck of a time trying to get it out. I don't know if you can see that it's splattered all over my hand there. All right. I got about 2 pumps on the back of my hand. We're going to go ahead in with the brush first because I just always do go in with the brush first. So let's go ahead. And I think that this is, like I said, I think this is going to work for me. All right, right now I am liking the finish. It's very luminous actually. It's not matte. I'm a little worried about it in my lines though. All right, I did put an extra pump on my hand and I do have a little bit left over. I'm going to go in with my sponge, and I did build it up on that cheek. It did actually build up pretty well on my cheek, and what was left on my hand is now gone. So we'll go ahead and get a little bit more. That pump though, if you don't have it like upright, it's really struggling. And it's squirting like everywhere. Okay. All right, I do have a little bit extra. I'm just going to use a little bit of that to cover the rest of my spots that I think I need a little bit more coverage, just primarily in the center of my face. And I'm just using the sponge because I feel like it'll give it a nice finish. I am having a little bit of difficulty on my nose with this foundation. That is not new. That is pretty typical for me as well. So I feel like the shade actually might be a little bit light for me. When I first started putting it on, I thought it looked good, but now it's turning very pink. I don't know if that'll show on my hand there, but it did turn really pink on my hand, compared to the, like, you know, my hand. And it doesn't start that way. So it is oxidizing. I'm trying to bring it a little bit down my neck to sort of fade it. And I will bronze up a little bit as well. Yeah, I have a bronzer in my box over here. Not that I couldn't go into my collection. I usually get all of my products from my foundation reviews into a little box, or even like day to day when I'm wearing makeup, I just pull out everything and put it in a box and put it here on the table in front of me, and I work from that. But I can always go back to my collection if needed be as well. So, okay. All right. Like I said, I think it might be a little bit light for me, maybe. And it's almost like it's taking it up. Okay. All right. We're going to call that on. It is a bit sticky. So I'm definitely going to powder this. I'm going to try not to use too much powder, but I'm definitely going to powder it. Let's see the time. The time now is 9:38, so we're going to call 9:45 the check-in time. Actually, let's just call 10 o'clock the check-in time. It makes it a little bit easier for check-ins throughout the day. So 10 o'clock, I will check in at 2, and then it's not going to be 6 o'clock. It's probably going to be more like 6:30 or 7. But I will wear this for at least 9 hours. It might be closer to 10 by the time everything's said and done. But initial, like immediately after putting it on, I'm liking it so far. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and put on the rest of my makeup, and I will be back in just one moment. All right, everybody, I am back. The time now is not on my phone, 10:07. So just a couple minutes after 10. We are going to keep 10 o'clock as the check-in time. Sorry, my lipstick looks a little bit smeary there at the corner of my mouth. So we're going to keep 10 o'clock as a check-in time, 2 o'clock, and 6:30, 7 o'clock for my final check-in. Anyway, on my face, I have the two powders that I typically use when I'm doing a foundation review. This is the Mineral Face Powder in Translucent, and this is the Mineral Correcting Powder in Translucent from Physicians Formula. I have the Balm Take Home the Bronze in Oliver on my cheeks, Tarte Amazonian Clay Blush in Party, and Fenty Beauty in Lightning Dust and Fire Crystal. I actually have both of these on my cheeks today as well. That's what's on the side of my face. And then concealer, I'm using the Makeup Revolution or Revolution Conceal and Define in C1. I have the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise on my lashes. I'm using the Violet Voss Like a Boss palette on my eyes. I have Hustle all over my lids, Serve in my crease, Work all over the lid with Baddie on top of it, and then I have Snatched in the outer V, and then along my lower lash line I have Work and Snatched. Oh, and in my inner corner I have Fierce, this shade right here. So that's what's on my lids. And then on my lips, I have this lip crayon from Douce, whatever. It's a Relentless Matte Lip Crayon in the shade Winterberry on my lips. And I sprayed my face down with my MAC Fix Plus in the lavender scent. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom you in and we can talk about this foundation. All right, half an hour in, I'm not ecstatic about it. Down here along my chin, it's really starting to crack already. And I've only had this on for like a half an hour. But it's starting to really crack, especially on this side of my chin, but especially also in the center. If I'm sitting resting, it's really getting into my creases. Like I have a little smile line on this side of my mouth that it's getting into. I have a scar on my upper lip that it's getting into. Basically, my problem area, which is around my mouth, is a problem with this foundation. But in addition to my mouth, I don't know if the camera is picking it up, but in my line on my forehead, my one line that I still have, I'm hoping to not get any more of. Sorry, I just noticed that there's foundation all over my computer, which I use to record my sound. That pump really didn't work very well. Anyway, on the line that's on my forehead, it is really getting in this side of my line especially. I'm not real happy about that. I had the hiccups. I apologize. If my video is pretty choppy right now, it's because I've got the hiccups. On my nose, it's starting to really sink into some of my pores. I think the only area that it looks pretty nice is on my cheeks, where I have almost no issues with my skin. Overall, I just feel like this is making my skin look older than it is, and I'm not particularly fond of that. I don't know anybody who really would like their skin to look older than it is, but that's my issue with it right now. Pretty much around my mouth. You can see along my upper lip, it's very in my lines, in my creases, along my chin, same thing. I'm just not really loving it. So, all right, I will see you guys at 2 o'clock and we'll see how it's doing then. It is, like I said, raining outside today, so I'm going to have a lot of moisture in the air around me. So we'll see how if that affects it at all. And still have the hiccups. Sorry for it being very choppy right now, but it's either film it or stop filming and come back later. But anyway, I'm just going to leave it at that. My hiccups are giving me, my hiccups are really driving me crazy right now. So we're going to leave it at that. I will see you guys at 2 o'clock and we will see how it looks in a few hours. All right, everybody, it is raining. So this is about the best direct light that you're going to get for today's midday check-in. So let's go ahead and look at my skin. I have my mirror here in my hand, but I will look at that in a second. So I specifically wanted to show you my chin stretched out as well as relaxed, because it definitely looks different depending on the way my skin looks. But it's really cracked up, like all right in here, along my chin here. I think it's focusing enough for you guys to see that. I mean, I do have a lot of texture on my face. I know I have a lot of texture. I'm 40 years old. You know what? I'm looking at this and I'm not liking the way it's looking right now. What is it waterproof though? I have been in and out of the car, in the rain, in and out of the rain, a couple of times today. It has been raining consistently. You can see the car here is just covered in rain. But it has been raining consistently for most of the day. We did go to the grocery store. It was raining really hard when we went to the grocery store, so my face got wet. Not drenched, but it did get wet from the rain. So the waterproof aspect of it is definitely there. However, I just feel like it's showing every single texture in my skin. And my skin is very textured. I have a lot of pores, this is all acne scarring from when I was a teenager. This is more current acne scarring, but nonetheless still acne scarring. I have lines in my lips, above my lips. So anyway, I'm just not liking the way it's looking because it is so much in my pores and in my skin. From far away, does it look okay? Yeah, I think from far away it looks pretty good. But it's when you get close up is that it really doesn't look very good. Anyway. That's my midday check-in. I will see you guys. Actually, I didn't show you what time it was. It's actually 3 o'clock. It's like right around 3 o'clock. I'm an hour late, and I'm not going to be checking until like 7 o'clock anyway. So it's 5 hours now. It's going to be another 4 hours before I check in. So I will see you guys at around 7 o'clock, maybe 6:30, but we'll see. All right, I'll see you guys later. All right, y'all. I am back. It is 6:54, so just about 7 o'clock. So I've had this on for over 9 hours. Now keep in mind, this says 24-hour wear right there on the bottle. 24-hour wear is what it says. I will give it this. It says it's sweat proof. I will give it this. It's been raining all day. Very damp outside, very wet. It has not like strayed from my face. It has not dripped or melted, anything. It's done actually a really great job as far as hanging in there with the moisture that has been in the air today. But I look shiny. My nose looks shiny, my forehead looks shiny, my cheeks look shiny, my chin looks shiny. My whole face looks shiny, which isn't horrible if you don't mind looking shiny. And for the most part, I don't. Like, I could probably powder my face a little bit right now and it would look okay. I would not honestly want to. I feel like I'm it's starting to feel heavy on my skin is the problem. Now, I did just touch my face a second ago and it's not transferring horrendously. A little bit of oil and a little bit of the foundation is coming off on my fingers, but for the most part, it's hanging in there pretty well. It's 7 o'clock at night. Let's do this. Well, it did smear, but not as bad as other foundations that I've done that to recently. I think it looks better than it did midday, but I don't think it looks great. I think if I'm just sitting here, it looks okay. But it's whenever I emote, like over here on my cheek, I feel like it's really in my pores. And because of that, I feel like it's making my skin look older than it is. You know what I mean? And I don't want my skin to look older. If anything, I'd rather be blurring it or doing something to make it look younger than it is. I don't mind my age. 40 doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me that I turned 40. But on the flip side, I also don't necessarily want my skin to look older than it is. You know what I mean? Like, I remember seeing my 80-year-old grandmother with skin that looks like this. And I don't know how well this camera is going to pick it up, but yeah, it's not horrible. It's absolutely not horrible, but I have tried other drugstore foundations that are less expensive than this that I like better. So anyway, that is my first impression of the Soap & Glory Kick-Ass All Day Wear Foundation. It's just okay. You know, if you want to give it a try, if you have problems with sweating or, oils or whatever, do I think this is waterproof? Probably not entirely waterproof, but will it hold up pretty well under wet conditions? Yeah, I think it does. So if that's a concern of yours, it might be worth giving it a try, especially if you can get it on sale. Yeah, it's okay, is my final statement on that. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up down below. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button. It helps me out very much. And if you have any comments, leave those in the comment section down below as well. Have you tried out the Kick-Ass, what is this, All Day Wear Foundation from Soap & Glory? I would love to hear your thoughts on it as well. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next Epic Beauty Fail. Bye!